Today, Saucy Bass Talk has a very special treat for you. Dmitry Gorodetsky, the amazing tall bassist that performed at the Super Bowl, answered a few questions for Saucy Bass Talk. He talks about his Fodera bass, he talks about the GK amps, he talks about the few minutes right before he steps on stage and he's ready to play that performance, and he talks about how he became the bass player that he is today. We're very excited to introduce to you the very well-known tall bassist for Saucy Bass Talk.
How are you?
Good. This is actually the first time that we're doing like a FaceTime type of thing. So
Okay.
it's just kind of like, okay, let's set up things and everything. Usually we have people like come in and stuff like that. But
Oh, usually it's in person.
yeah, usually it's in person, but this works out just fine as well. First of all, congratulations on all your success with the Super Bowl.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
How does that feel to be a bass player and get like all this recognition for what your work is?
It feels wild. It feels crazy. It's all still a blur. If I'm honest, I wasn't prepared for how I would feel afterwards. I was prepared for the show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we prepare to play the music and do our performance and all the things on stage. I wasn't I got like 1,000 messages and was just trying to get back to everybody and just be grateful for the moment. And yeah, it feels crazy. I'm still processing what that means, because you take that with you for the rest of your life. Like,
Oh yeah.
you played the Super Bowl, that's like a thing that kind of just stands, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Where were you when you heard the news that you're going to be playing the Super Bowl?
Shoot, the exact place, I heard, to be honest with you, there was a little bit of rumors. So there was like unconfirmed but little rumblings. I will tell you this: the first time I remember the thought even crossed my mind that it might be possible is the commissioner of the NFL came to our show in Vegas at the residency. I think his name is Roger Goodell. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's the commissioner's name. And we were like, there was like little murmurs, like, I think the NFL's here. You know, they're checking out like Usher, but you know, the Super Bowl's 6 months away or something. And it was just rumblings. And I remember just doing the Vegas residency show, like really excited that night. But then the next time I got the call, I was home. I was like right here chilling on the couch.
Yeah. How was like the emotion of like getting that confirmation that you're going to be doing the Super Bowl?
Crazy, unbelievable. I actually, like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even believe it until it was basically happening.
Oh, I bet. Oh my God, that's
I mean,
exciting though.
it was exciting, and at the same time, I was like, okay, chill it out. Like, you know, I know how the business is. Anything could happen. There's always changes are possible. And so I kind of was just approaching it like, okay, right now we just got rehearsals. Like, just worry about the rehearsals. Just focus on the work and whatnot, you know. And then as it was like, only when it was like a few days out, I was like, okay, I guess these are not just rehearsals. I guess they really plan to have us up on that stage.
Wow.
You know, that's when it really hit. Yeah, that's when it got really real. Right at the last minute.
Yeah. How, like now that you mentioned rehearsals, like how much did you guys rehearse for all this?
Crazy amount. Absolutely. The amount of preparation, I don't think people realize, is like, it's insane. I think it's easily a month of rehearsals, but maybe it was 2, depending on, like, you know, if for dancers or musicians or everybody combined, it's easily probably 2 months if you kind of consider all the departments. And Ush had been working on it already for months by then.
Right.
So it's an insane amount of preparation, you know, from the song order. I think the song order was put together like probably last year.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like that was one of the, you know, earlier parts of the process. So like Lil Jon did that actually.
Oh,
Lil
okay.
Jon was kind of playlisting it and putting together. And so when you put people's work and effort together, it's just an insane body of work. Right down to the people that practice building that stage and rolling it out onto the 50-yard line, live on TV during a commercial break while everyone is watching and with no chance of messing up. Like,
Yeah, like
I've
literally no room for error at all.
no room for, like, they gotta roll that stage out there and build it together and bolt everything down just exactly right so we don't collapse minutes later as we're performing on it. Yeah, it's I can honestly say I've never been part of such a massive production.
I bet. So you're like watching all this happen and you're like waiting for your moment. What is the build up like to when you're before like about to go on stage?
Oh, okay, yeah, day of. I mean, yeah, it starts early on, because they get you there. Like they take no chances with traffic, no
Yeah.
chances with any kind of lateness. So you're there like before the game even starts. You know, you're already in your trailers and just waiting backstage in the green rooms and whatever. Um, and yeah, you just kind of like getting into the mindset, and then like early on, there's a call time just to be in your full uniform outfit, fully dressed, and you're like, we're not playing for hours. There's
Oh,
still hours before we go out there, and like, nope, you got to be already dressed.
like make sure
So
everything's like on point.
on point and ahead of time, yeah, like pray well in advance, hours before the show. You know, get into your mindset, in your zone, get yourself hands warmed up. So yeah, it's like there's landmarks you're hitting throughout the day
Okay.
prior to the actual show. By the time you're in that tunnel, you know, the tunnel that the
Yeah.
athletes walk out of onto the field. By the time you're in that tunnel, it's like an energy rush, like crazy,
Yeah.
like just a insane adrenaline. Like we're really about to do this. The people are out there, full stadium, screaming. You know, athletes are doing their thing, and yeah, and you're standing in that tunnel. It gets very real. You're like, it's go
Like
time.
it's happening.
It's really
At
happening.
any minute did you have like the slightest doubt? Like did you think like, "Oh my gosh, what if I forget one of the songs or any of that?"
Not at all. No. Yeah, I don't get nervous like that
Okay, good.
before the shows. I used to as a kid, and like the stage fright totally went away, which I'm grateful for. That helps when you're about to be in front of 120
Oh
million.
my gosh. I could just imagine. I was watching it out in my home and I was just thinking about, you know, the musicians, right? And as a bass player myself, I was just like, I need to look for the bass player, and if they don't pan the camera too much to you guys.
Yeah, it was like halfway through the set is when we started being in the shot.
Exactly. And then so watching you guys perform, and then I replayed your performance endless times since then. Just
God,
watching
that's
and
great.
listening to everything you do. Love the beautiful Fodera bass.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out
Wow.
to Fodera. They definitely did a number
Was
on
this a
that.
bass that they specifically made for you?
No, the bass had already existed, but it specifically got turned into that color for me.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yeah, that bass used to be black and red, and
Oh,
and Usher said, okay, like we need like
white.
all white instruments. That's the color scheme, and so it got transformed. It had to get a facelift.
Uh, and then
Right.
your GK amps.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I didn't want to interrupt you. I see the GK symbol
Oh.
back there. You got a little.
Yeah,
GK
it's a little
baby, shout
baby
out.
one. It's just for rehearsal in my room.
I love it. Those are beautiful. The 1.8, the 110.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah, I'm currently
I-
actually working with the Legacy series, the GK Legacy series, and then I do have before that one I have the MB212.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
I've always worked with GK amps. Most of my career, I've worked with GK amps. I love them. So when I saw that you had the white ones, I'm like, I want one of those. Like, what?
So, so look out, everybody look out, but you
Okay.
as well, for possible either a Super Bowl edition or a Dmitry edition or just a limited run of the white color cabs.
Wow, those are
And
flawless.
there's even yeah, I've been working, on the possibility with the company of maybe even having different colors. Because the
Wow.
response to, like, yeah, because we're always playing amps and they're just
Yep.
like black coloring, like Tolex or tweed or just all the basic, you know, uh, carpet, like some of them, and so for people to just be able to have an option of a dope color that
Yeah.
might be their favorite, maybe it's red, maybe it's white or something else, I think is like would be really really cool. So I'm in the
No.
talks now with GK about
Wow.
yeah, working on that. Shout out to Forrest Gallion and the whole Gallien-krueger, Bob Gallion, everybody at GK. We definitely got some things in the works.
Oh, well,
You
that's
know,
awesome to know. I mean, I would love to
Mhm.
have like maybe a pink one or something.
I'm telling you, it's very much a possibility now. Like let's put that out there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I know like my brothers, I have two brothers, one of them is a drummer, one of them is a bass player, and the bass player also works with the GK amps. My dad does too, he's a bass player as well. We
They're
all
great.
do. So they're great. I want to talk to you
Yeah.
a little bit about. I read in one of the articles that you had posted that you're actually from Russia.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was born overseas.
And then you came out here around what age, like 10 or something like
I
that?
was 10. Yeah, I was 10 years old. So I didn't move for music. It wasn't like we all have friends that are here on our artist visas or come over to study at Berkeley or some other kind of thing. I just moved here with my family, literally just like immigrated,
Okay.
for a better life. And but coincidentally, that's kind of when I got started interested in getting interested in music. Was around age 10. I got a little more serious about it and started kind of practicing and exploring different instruments. So it sort of coincided with moving to America.
Oh, got it. When
Hmm.
you were out there, were you already playing music? Was this in your mind already? And is something that, what was the difference from being out there playing music and then coming out here and playing music?
Well, yeah, I was always into music because it's just around my family.
Okay.
It's just what we do. Sounds like just like your family, like everyone plays. It's just normal.
Yeah.
I started noodling around when I was like 3 years old on drums because my mom is a former drummer. So like I would like pick up her drumsticks or maybe mess around banging on pillows. And then I was in like classical piano lessons
Okay.
when I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old. My parents put me in lessons, so there was all that like formal. It's like what you're supposed to do kind of things.
Yeah.
That's sort of what happened before I moved to America. It was just like, okay, you have a bunch of different interests, but music is one of them. You get some lessons. When I came here, the difference was that I started like really having a passion for it, and I gravitated first towards guitar, and it was like, okay, I'm willing to practice.
Okay.
I'm willing to like take lessons and work hard to learn the next thing. So that was the main difference because music has always been around my family, so no one's really surprised that you know
That you kept with
that
music.
the music. It's just how far you go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. So, what would you say would be one of the main things you think is important for bass players to do in order to get to a spot like you have right now?
Well, it's a combination of things that leads here, and I mean, of course, you're gonna hear things like hard work and dedication and never giving up, no matter what phase of your music career you're in. One piece of advice I'd like to share, and I got this from Derek Hodge, who's like our generation's leading bass player, everybody's favorite. Derek said something that's really profound. He said, treat every gig, every musical situation, every time you're playing out, even if it's just a jam session, treat it as serious as you possibly can, like you're playing a stadium, like you're playing the Grammys. You never know who's listening, and each gig essentially is an audition, because every time someone hears you play, and based on that, may invite you into the next level of whatever exists. So if you treat your school band like it's like the most serious thing, and then your jam sessions and your little dive bar or neighborhood local gig like you're playing Carnegie Hall, people are going to see that dedication, and they're going to be like, wow, this guy is really serious no matter where he's playing, or girl, whoever.
Right.
And so, yeah, taking every gig and keeping in mind it's basically an audition into that leads into the next phase. That's a huge piece of advice. Because sometimes people will just be like, it's a little gig, we're just blowing it off and whatever. It doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to be there. No one's listening. They're not paying attention. It's like, no, that is the wrong attitude.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
You never know who's listening, and also your full dedication is needed in order to move to the next level.
That is true.
You don't really move to the next level without your full dedication. So that means wherever you are currently, you got to take that 100% seriously, and then you can move up. But yeah, hard work, doing your homework, always being prepared, always being on time, being professional, being coachable, being malleable, having a good attitude, being willing to, follow the leader and be a good team player. All those things contribute. And then there's one little secret, and it's not so secret, but I think it's a tip for musicians in general out there, is move to the city or go to the scene where things are happening that you want to be a part of.
I've never heard that one. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, you basically, it's very hard sometimes to get it done from your hometown. Yeah. Unless you're from LA or New York or Nashville, or London or something, Paris. Because what it is the opportunities, they hover around these hubs. LA has its thing. It has a thing that it does, and it does really well, and that's actually multiple things. New York has its thing too, and so to be part of the New York or LA scene and not be living there is very difficult. Right. So you got to immerse yourself wherever you hang out. This is another one that I go by, is wherever you hang out is where you'll start gigging. So if you come and play, you hang out at church all the time, before long they're going to have you get up on drums and play those drums, or bass or something. If you hang out at a certain club night after night, eventually you'll get an opportunity to be up on that stage. If you're not around those places, you might not get that shot.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, it's all very common sense, but people don't always look at it this way.
Right. You don't really even think about it.
Right. But you gotta go to where things. If you want to play Carnegie Hall, you gotta go see some concerts at Carnegie Hall and hang around New York. And before too long, you're around those circles and things start to happen. Maybe you get called to substitute or just to be in the room during a rehearsal. But guess what? You're getting closer and closer to that moment actually happening.
That is true. That's a great advice. I wanted to ask you, how do you prepare, or how did you prepare emotionally for a performance such as the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, a lot of the preparation is put in years prior to the gig. Generally, by the time you get to that gig, at least as a musician in our band or my peers, you have proven yourself countless and countless times. So you're not it's really not an accident or just by chance that you're ending up there. Basically, um, you're putting in years of work of preparation. Maybe if for some people it's calming their nerves and getting rid of that stage fright, or just getting practice to play in front of lots and lots of people and keep your composure and have a good stage presence, execute your part, have good energy, and interact with your band members and with the artists. So yeah, it starts years. By the time I played the Super Bowl, I had already played arenas and stadiums and lots of the TV shows. So part of that, to that kind of thing where it's like the preparation is put in years in advance. And then as far as actually on the day of or week of, you got to get yourself together spiritually. You know what I mean? Whatever that means for you.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really do it by yourself. Like, I'm not here to tell people who to believe or what to believe in, but pray. Pray, meditate, have some time alone. I think alone time is super important, especially day of. There's going to be all the loudness, there's going to be all the rah-rah and the celebration and the champagne and all those things, but like before all that, way before that, I like to, start my day off, or like, or early on, before I even get to the venue, is just, close your eyes and get yourself together spiritually, however that looks for you. Get in touch with the source. Like, what do you really believe? What is your purpose on this earth? Like, this is not about you pulling strings on a piece of wood, that's plugged into some wires. There's got to be a bigger purpose. Like, you're here to inspire people. You're here to bless people. Maybe you're here to uplift somebody, or at least like distract them from a tough work day. It's somebody's Sunday that they look forward to all year long. It's the big game, and they want to relax and they don't want to think about work. So it's like, get yourself together emotionally and spiritually, what your real purpose in life is, which is hopefully to work with others and help others and make their journey a little easier. Once you get in touch with the source and pray who you pray to, the path is open. Like, now you're aligned,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, almost. I would say any show. It can be the Super Bowl or things much smaller shows. Still do that, because you gotta think bigger than just like you playing your instrument. It's way deeper than that. We're all on this planet for a bigger reason. There's got to be a purpose why we play music and make art for each other.
That is true. Well, we're getting really close to the end. I want to thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be on Saucy Bass Talk. Basically, I created this channel because, not just because I'm a bass player, but also because one of my siblings is a bass player as well, and he inspires me so much. I'm gonna send you some of his videos so you could take a look at them.
Yeah. Please do.
Yeah,
Please
and then we have bass players like yourself who are just willing to share their wisdom, their talent with us, and that's really what we're looking for in this channel. Anything else that you want to add to this conversation?
I'm just grateful that you reached out and you're willing to, hear my story, my perspective. I appreciate you. Just want to say again, shout out to all the companies that support me, that have been helping me, that definitely made this thing possible. Fodera and Gallien-krueger, D'Addario Strings, love them. JH Audio for Ears have had me dialed in for a long time. In-ear monitors. Thank you to everybody, and Moog synthesizers too. We love y'all. Claire, shout out to Claire for all the help for the synth bass stuff. But I'm grateful. Thank you to my tech Ed too for dialing in all the gear through all the shows. And appreciate you, homie. That's pretty much it.
Well, thank you so much, Dmitry, once again. We're about to end this call, but don't hang up yet, actually. I want to talk to you about something real fast, but this was Saucy Bass Talk, guys, so make sure you guys subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Sounds good. Peace, y'all.
There you guys have it. What an amazing conversation. You probably learn a lot from tall basses, and you will most likely continue to learn a lot more from other bass players as well. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to Saucy Bass Talk. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. I'm signing off. This is your host, Esperanza Rangel from Saucy Bass Talk.